Right. Good evening, everyone. I hope my sound is clear. Can you all hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Right. Wonderful. So, we have started this specifically for it's almost like the same thing that we used to do on TikTok. We would do these sessions, would come, scrutinize the chart, look for the opportunities. If there's any opportunity worth taking, I would definitely share with you guys and tell you guys. Now I'm entering. Me and my team we're entering. If you want to enter, you can enter. If you don't want to enter, you also cannot enter. So it's one of those things where we'll be doing all those things right here so that we make sure that everyone is on the same page. The most important aspect or the most important agenda behind this program is to make sure that at least you go through your year or you go through your trading with a little bit of guidance. Some of you, the way you are still lost, it's so pathetic. The way you're still lost in terms of trading, we don't even need to mention crypto. The way you're still lost in terms of trading, it's so pathetic to an extent that if we just leave you like this, you might actually end the year the same way your last year ended, even the same way 2023 ended. So that's not a good thing to see, especially when you are within the vicinity of people with understanding. I remember the last masterclass that I had with our mentorship class students just this past 7 days. I was so much harsh and so much pushy on most of them, not because I have I don't have a better approach to deal with them. I do have, but there's a point where you get to where you see that if you continue smiling at these people, they will keep tolerating the same underperformance, the same poverty, the same lack. When someone has been through poverty long enough, more than being in riches, or let's say you've been poor more than you've ever been rich, it means even mentally you have a certain program that you have been consistently maintaining mentally for a very long time, right? Unaware or unbeknown to you, there is a pattern that you have been following consistently. So if some of those things we don't rebuke them, you keep on maintaining the same poverty, maintaining the same lack over and over. You'll be repeating the same pattern. And you, because it's now part of you, you don't know that you're repeating the same pattern. It's only someone who is outside of that pattern that can tell you that, hey, the way you're moving, you are simply repeating the same thing. The same way you have been uh, maintaining lack and poverty, all this is the same way you're dealing with it. Even if you think that you are pushing, even the way you're pushing from a standpoint of lack. That's why sometimes I say the issue of financial freedom and even the issue of success is not all about taking action. It's about taking action from the correct standpoint. If you take action from a standpoint of a poverty mentality or a lack mentality or a defeated mentality, those actions that you will be taking, they will still lead you to more failure, more poverty, and more lack. So your standpoint or your where you are situated from or where you approach this whole success game from in terms of perspective, it's very, very, very vital and very fundamental. It's very difficult for someone with a poverty mentality to see opportunities. That's the hardest thing for them to do. They can't even they can't even perceive that because the poverty mentality is like it's like glasses. It's like you'll be wearing glasses that will be giving you a certain viewpoint to life, a certain viewpoint even to the markets, a certain viewpoint even to yourself. To understand that even if anything is presented in front of you, you view it from a standpoint of lack. Even if a big one of the biggest opportunities comes in front like this, you, based on the glasses that you're wearing, you are going to see it as small. You are going to see it from that perspective, right? So your standpoint, even throughout these sessions as we'll be going, let me tell you one of the biggest things that you must deal with on a day-to-day basis. It's your mentality, your mindset. Some of you, your mentality, your mindset, your attitude is not even yet conducive or compatible with success. You want to be successful, but if we look at your attitude, if you look at your thought patterns, if we look at even how you are still doing things, they're saying it's like those are two things that are saying opposite things. You, on the other hand, verbally, you're saying, me, I'm going to be successful this year. This year, I'm going to be a millionaire. This year, whatever, whatever. But when we now go deeper to now search your mentality, your mindset, your attitude, is it also in confluence with what you're saying verbally? It's not even your work ethic is it even in conflict with what you're saying. It's not even at all. So be so much careful not to repeat the same patterns, not to repeat. You know, I always say a year is only new if ever the person who has entered the year is new. You can repeat 10 years of your life over and over and over again, repeating the same cycle, repeating up until you break that cycle and start a new one. Instead of a new one, that's when you start to see a change. Change will only come when you break the old cycles. Some of you are still maintaining old cycles that you've been holding on. I hear certain people say, me, I'm scared. Me, I'm scared. You are scared of what? You are scared of what? Because at the end of the day, the position that you're in right now, you should actually be more scared of actually doing nothing than even trying something. You should actually be more scared of not even jumping into the pool of financial freedom like what others are doing. You should actually be more scared. That's the biggest fear you must have is taking in action where others are acting. That's that's what you must be scared of. So all these things where people say, "Hey, me, hey, me, I don't understand this." You keep on not understanding up until when? Up until when? The way that's why sometimes the reason why it's a very difficult thing to get close to me. It's a very difficult hurdle. Ask those that are in the mentorship class how sometimes I go hard on them. Ask how I go hard on them. It's because I've never believed in poverty any single day. So if I see someone pampering it, tolerating it, it invokes a certain anger in me where if I have the authority to rebuke you, I will rebuke you nicely. If I don't have it, I might just leave you, but at the end of the day, it's not something that I'll be enjoying watching people repeating the same things that you were thinking that made you poor. You are still thinking the same thoughts. You are still acting the same way. The same actions that have been making you maintaining poverty in your life. You are still maintaining the same things. And yet you expect a change. Change is not a miraculous thing that just happens. Even what you call miracles, if you believe in miracles, miracles they don't just happen. They happen even from a certain standpoint of mindset. There's a certain mindset that you even have to have for the miracle to happen. So even God Himself, I think I've mentioned this. Those that have once attended our TikTok sessions, because there we were now talking about so many things. There, I feel like one of the reasons why we had to also be, we had to be blocked totally. The account had to be terminated because what we were now talking about there, it was beyond the the whole dynamics of things. Because you, I would mention points like, do you know that even God, if you know God or whatever, if you believe in God, if He is going to bless you, if you say, God bless me, hey, God bless me, whatever way you talk to Him, to I don't know, whatever. If He's going to bless you financially, the first thing that He has to deal with first is your mindset, your mentality, your whole imagination, even financial wise. He has to he deals with that. If you don't pass that level, he is going to be restricted and limited in the way he's going to even bless you. It's like someone who will say, God, I want to become a millionaire. Then God looks at the mentality of that person. He looks at the mentality. You are still thinking from a level of a thousandaire. You're not yet you're not yet even thinking at the level of millions. Even your attitude is not even there. If you are still if you are still feeling pain, if you are still crying over taking a loss, let's say you take a trade and it hits your stop loss. I'm just giving you an example. You take a trade nicely, it hits your stop loss. If you are still at a level where you are going to cry and scratch your head for the whole week over a simple stop loss that was hit in a day, it means you are not ready to reach certain levels or certain dimensions of money because God also loving all of us evenly. He wants to protect you by all means. So to protect you in that sense, it would be not to even give you certain amounts of money. Some of you, if you start to be exposed to certain numbers right now, you would kill yourself. With the current mentality that you have now, with the current attitude you have now, if you were to hold certain figures right now, or even if you were to have such a trading account so big like that, some of you right now, you wouldn't even survive the pressure that comes with those figures. Every figure that you're going to experience, it comes with its own level of pressure. Even every level financially, it comes with its own level of pressure. So if you are not able to achieve stability in terms of, I'm talking about emotional stability and even mental stability at the current level you are at right now, forget about getting to the next level. Forget. If you can't be in charge of what you are thinking at this level, right? I don't know what level you're at, but if you can't be in charge of what you're thinking, what you're imagining, what you're saying every time at this level, it means you are going to maintain the same level up until because it's only when you start to change, when you start to be in charge of what you're thinking, what you're saying, and even when you start to be conscious of what you're doing. That's the zone of. I remember I once mentioned this other point. The thing is, we were not recording our TikTok sessions, so some of these things you might not get them, but you get them as time goes on. I once mentioned this at a point where I said, "Do you know that financial freedom it doesn't start in the pocket or in the bank account by seeing the bank account changing there? No, that's not where it starts. That once you start to see the bank account increasing or the numbers increasing, that's an after effect of financial freedom. Financial freedom, it comes with so many other freedoms. It doesn't move on its own. What you call financial freedom, I want to be financially free. It doesn't move on its own. It also moves with what you call mental freedom. Mental freedom, this is your ability to think, to think what you want to think, to be in charge of what you're thinking, to even be conscious of what you're thinking. That's the first level of freedom that you must have. You must also now start to have emotional freedom, where you are in charge of your emotions, no matter what has happened or no matter what will happen, right? Even if right now or today you make $10,000, $100,000, you are not going to be flying in the sky. You will still be having that whole emotional composure. Those are some of the levels of freedoms that you are going to experience before even financial freedom comes. It checks all those other freedoms. If those ones ticked, if those ones haven't ticked, you need also to have what we call um social freedom, where you talk you talk to whom you want to talk to. You don't just talk to people on autopilot, whereby you start to relate to people automatically, to say, we just woke up friends. No. There's a certain level of freedom that you, so all those kinds of freedom, they come before even the financial freedom. Your ability to say no. How much can you say no? Like, That boldness to say no, right? I'm not saying just saying no randomly, but saying no obviously calculatively. That boldness on its own, it's also one of the forms of freedom that comes uh, before even the financial freedom comes. So you discover that most of you, before even you start complaining and say, why are my finances not shifting? Why are they not improving? Before even you ask that question, you need to ask yourself, on a level of ignorance, have I passed that level, the level of ignorance? How much do I now know that I can say I qualify for financial freedom? Because it's not something that just comes to anyone randomly, right? You don't just wake up a millionaire. You deserve your way to that level, right? You deserve your way to that level. So the thing is, some of you are still earning what you're earning, you're still making what you're making because you deserve that based on the consistent patterns that you have been maintaining thought wise, imagination wise, intellectual wise, even emotional wise, action wise, based on the patterns that you have been consistently doing, you deserve that level. I remember this other day, back then in the days, I remember 10 years ago when I started attending finance seminars, there was this famous millionaire. He came and said such a very, very strong, powerful point. He said, do you know the difference between a billionaire and a beggar? It's a very thin difference like this. The difference between right now, someone whom you are calling a billionaire and a beggar, those two people, the difference between them is just a thin difference like this. The billionaire told himself that he can't beg, even if the billions or the millions were not yet there. But he actually told himself that, as for me, that's not my level. Huh? In other words, he didn't, uh, he actually, which terminology can I use? He didn't allow the circumstance to determine his level. So he determined his level first before even the circumstances were even saying so. Then the beggar accepted the circumstance. Whether he was born in a poor family or whatever, or he was always around poor environments, he accepted that condition as his and said, this is my level. So both of these guys, they accepted the life that they're living. The day that a beggar will say to himself, I can't keep begging. That's the day that he will start to experience transformation. He will start to he will start to feel uncomfortable being around beggars. You start to feel uncomfortable being in the street begging. His mind now, because remember your mind, do you know that your mind it works according to you? Whether it opens or closes according to you, the driver. You have power over your mind to understand that your mind, every time you make a decision is like when you make a decision right now, when you make a conscious decision right now, it opens or closes a certain portion of your mind. Let's say you make a decision and say, me, I can't keep on working for someone. I can't. I can't. I can't keep on. I can't. Already that's a decision. What is going to start to happen is your mind, it will take that decision as a command. And it will start to open to show you how you can stop actually working for someone. So for those that might still be working for someone, it's because also at a certain point, whether consciously or unconsciously, you told your mind that this is where we belong, and your mind it can't say no to you. It will just give you based on what it's like a law of supply and demand. The demand that you put on it is the supply that is going to give back to you, right? So whatever demand you put on life, whatever demand you put on yourself, is the supply that even yourself and life will give back to you. There is no demand which is too big. There's no demand that can ever be said is too big for life to offer, or for even your mind, or your natural inbuilt God-given abilities to give you. There is no demand like that. Even if right now you make a conscious decision to say, this year, I'm going to become a millionaire. Not I might. I might, that's actually a statement of doubt. It means somehow, you have calculated and said, based on A, B, C, D, I can't be a millionaire this year. So if you make a conscious decision right now to say, I'm becoming a millionaire this year, just that decision on its own, it puts you at a at a certain level mentally beyond what you were before you made that decision. All the people that were relating to you based on the old you that had not made that decision and the new you that would have made this decision, you will discover that some of those people, they'll start to feel uncomfortable being around you. You start to, even yourself, you start to feel uncomfortable being around those or people that you used to connect with when you had not made such a conscious decision to become a millionaire. You start to feel uncomfortable being in certain places, talking to certain people, you start to feel that uncomfortability. It's your mind and it's your subconscious mind now. It's at work now. Because what happens is your subconscious mind does not sleep. It works 24/7. What does it work on? It works on the commands that you give it. The commands that you give it consciously, the more consciously you make those decisions, your subconscious mind, it will pick that decision as a command, and it will work on that decision day and night to make sure that whatever that command is, it comes to pass. So even if you if you say I am poor, that's why you know when it comes to this thing of financial freedom, hear me and hear me, ladies and gentlemen. One of the days, some of you get it. So because people, they wake up at different level, at different rates and all that. But if you're going to wake up, please wake up as soon as possible. Wake up as soon as possible. When it comes to this thing of financial freedom, pay attention to every detail. Pay attention to every thought, every imagination that you're even thinking, every word that you're even thinking. Pay attention to those are very vital. I want you one of the days, if if you get a chance to get close to anyone whom you think has money or who has money or whatever, I want you to pay attention to their thinking pattern. Pay attention to what they say. What they say, whether about money, whether about life, whether about themselves. I want you to pay attention to that. Pay attention to their attitude. Pay attention to how much optimistic these guys are. Pay attention to how much they are always ready for things to work out. They don't even think like what you think, where you think that something wrong will happen. Something wrong where? They are always anticipating the best, expecting the best, and the best is what will always come. So some of you is the opposite, total opposite. You are expecting at a verbal level, you are saying something, but at a mental level, you are also saying something which is different from what you are saying verbally. So all of those things, they have to be in confluence before you even start acting the actions that might bring financial freedom. Your thoughts, your words, and even what you're imagining, what you're believing, they have to be saying the same thing. Everything, every cell in your body must be saying, yes, we are becoming millionaires this year. No part of your being must be saying no. The moment you start to have a portion of you saying no, already you now have a problem to deal with. Already you now have a struggle to work on. If something within you starts to oppose what you're trying to achieve, you need to deal with that thing, because if you don't deal with it, you are going to be fighting that internal battle unaware the whole year. You come to December and you realize that all that you're doing, you're just fighting an internal battle between you and your old thinking patterns that you used to have. And results, there won't be any results there. There won't be any tangible results to speak about. So that internal battle, it's a battle that you keep on fighting it daily, 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 up until there's a day, there's a day where your subconscious mind and your conscious mind, they will now come to an agreement to say, ha, yes, I have been, because the subconscious mind, it has been programmed over the years. You have programmed it all these years that you have been in existence. You have programmed this, the results that you're experiencing now is because of the program that you have put in your subconscious mind all these years. Once you now want to have different results, it means you have to change the program, right? The subconscious mind program. So what is going to happen is the subconscious mind, it will, as you consciously speak the new the new reality you want to experience, as you speak it, as you think it, as you imagine it, as you even consciously act towards that, your subconscious mind, it will come to a point of agreement where it will pick that new program and start to work on that new program. Once it starts working on that new program, there's now agreement between your conscious and your subconscious mind. Once you're now at that level, that's where you start to effortlessly do what you must do to be rich. You will think effortlessly what you must be thinking for you to be rich. Things that you must imagine for you to be rich, you start to imagine those things. Things that you must know for you to be rich, you will be drawn to those things to know them, right? It's no longer just you running after money, but now money also, it will now also be running after you, because there is something in you which is in your subconscious mind, which is also sort of like a magnet to money also. They are now in agreement. The reason why some of you, you have been chasing money all your life, and it seems like the more you're chasing it, the more it's also running away. It's because you have something in you which opposes the idea of being rich. There are certain belief systems that you're still holding on to that support being broke more than being rich. So when you attempt to be rich from that standpoint or from that belief system, money itself, it will run away. It will come and pass. Even if you receive money today, it will come and pass. It will come and pass, because based on the belief systems you carry, you don't deserve money. Money cannot dwell there, right? So the whole game of financial freedom, it's not only external. What do I mean by not only external? It's not about me. I'm pushing. You can push your whole life and still achieve nothing. You find someone else pushing lesser than you and achieving tremendous results. I have some crazy friends of mine that I trade with, that I also do crypto investing with. If I tell you, they don't work as hard as some of you do, but trust me, if I could show you some of the numbers here, you'll be shocked. It's not, the external part is there, yes, where you have to work hard is there. I understand, but if you discover that if you work more, if you work, if you give yourself this mentality of saying, okay, if I fix my internal world more, you realize that even the little effort can even bring greater results, because results, they come not based on entirely what you are doing physically, like how much you're pushing outside. They also come most entirely based on even what you're believing inside. So these are things that you yourself, you actually know what you are believing in, what you've been. It's so simple to know what you've been believing in. Look at the results that you have been keeping on repeating. Look at the cycles, financial cycles that you are repeating. It can tell you the belief systems that you have been holding on to. Some of you believe more in poverty than even being rich. You believe more in failing than even succeeding. You always imagine yourself failing. You always imagine the worst case scenario about you every time. You say the most pathetic things about yourself to an extent that even money itself, ah, it will be afraid to even get close to you, because you you are the one thing that people don't realize is you are the master in charge of your life, right? Money, 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 it's actually under you. If you don't understand that it's under you, that's why it's still a challenge to even have the money. Money is actually a servant, especially once you know how to deal with it, right? So this issue of financial freedom, it's both an inner thing before it's even an outer thing. You become rich before you become rich. You become rich before you become rich. This is not a fake it till you make it thing. No, I'm not talking about that. You actually you get to a point where you feel it. You actually feel that yeah, now success is happening. Now I deserve. You get to that point of deservedness. Once you get to that point, not faking it, but a genuine point where you feel it, even your mind, everything is now in agreement. You get to that. Once you get to that point, you start to see that's when even success will start to happen. Some of you haven't gotten to that point of deservedness where you actually genuinely internally feel and deserve success. So I think for this first episode, I'm going to stop here. Let me stop here. Let me not proceed. Let me stop here. Just as an introduction, let me stop here. We'll continue tomorrow morning. We are going to the charts. As we be on the charts, we'll also be talking these things. Tomorrow morning, 5 a.m., we'll be on the charts. Charts, as I will be chatting, I will be analyzing, but also telling